4, 3, 2, 1. Are we good?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay, here we go.
The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Take it away, Bill.
Hey, good evening. How you doing? I'm Bill DeWees. I want to welcome you to tonight's voiceover training. We'll get started here in just a bit, but I just wanted to pop in and say hi. Also, you can, I don't, Fred, if you're still close to your mic, say hi. This is my good friend, colleague, business advisor, partner, Fred Gleek. And he's in Los Angeles. I'm near Chicago.
So I guess let's find out a little bit. Why don't you ask people where they're from and find out a little bit about
Yeah. So, yes, would love to know where you are from. It's interesting. I'd love to see where people are at, because sometimes there are people who will stay up literally half the night, halfway around the world, just to be a part of this webinar that we do. And would love to know where you're at. Where you're at, and also where you're at in the voiceover journey. If you're new, just put new, experienced, let's say maybe new-ish, meaning you've been doing it for a little bit, but you're trying to ramp up, or anything you want to say that gives me an idea of kind of where you're at. And also, if there's anything specific that you're hoping to gain from tonight, if you want to just write that down very briefly, like in a word or two, that would be good as well.
And put it in the question box. John from Douglasville, Georgia. Not sure where Douglasville is exactly. I've been to a bunch of places in Georgia, but not sure where that is. Maybe tell me. Anyway, a bunch of people. So if you want to put in west of Atlanta. Okay, thanks, John. Hi, Bill. No comment there other than that. Okay, June from Southern California, Long Beach.
Excellent.
I dove in 2 months ago and have seen increasing business, thankfully. Good.
Okay.
From Connecticut, have been reading and studying for about 2 years. Finally got approval from work to do outside employment yesterday. Good for you, Kate. Excellent. They're going to let you make some money on the side. Good deal. Randy, Oklahoma City. At this for about a year and a half. Good deal. And by the way, all these are live. Nothing is taped and recorded, so we're not trying to play any mouse and cat game here.
I am on a high wire, and there is no net.
Okay. People are starting out. Leaf from Chattanooga, Tennessee. Brand new, looking to start soon. Good to have you. Anybody else? Put it in the question mark. Teresa from Texarkana. Doing this for 5 months. Thank you, Teresa, for being here. Brian, Snellville, Georgia. Newbie. Been working as a club DJ for 20 years.
Great. Georgia is very well represented tonight.
It is. Joseph from Cincinnati. Welcome, Joseph. Darren from Shreveport.
One of my favorite cities.
Outside Baton Rouge, Darren. Yuma, Arizona. Brandon, welcome. A bunch more people. Just check in. Tell us where you're from. We're not officially started till the top of the hour. Greg from California. Where in California, Greg? I'm here in the Santa Clarita area. Good. Tom from Manchester, Connecticut. Good. Chicago. Lanice from Chicago. Bill is south of Chicago and Bourbonnais. Greg from San Francisco. Jacob, Castle Rock, Colorado. Keith Mora from Grand Blanc, Michigan. Clint from Washington State. Okay. Doesn't want to get too specific with us because we know we might come after him. We're going to come get to Clint somewhere in Washington State. It's along here. Ivan from St. Augustine, Florida. Hey, I went to school in Gainesville. Thank you for being here, Ivan. His last name is Talent for God. I like it. Sweet. Okay, folks, lots more people joining us. If you come in, Bill, wants to find out where you're from and how long you've been in the business or anything you want to say.
And last week, we were doing a webinar. Had a lady on who had, she's been in the business for I think 20 or 30 years, and she said she was just frustrated because she's seen her traditionally based voiceover business dwindle away, and she was a little skeptical, and she said she was blown away by what she learned. It was a real eye-opener for her. So that's my hope for you tonight, that whether you've been doing this for a while and you just can't sustain your business or you're getting started, that this will be an eye-opener, and you will see how things are and what you can do, most importantly, to make sure that you make a good, sustainable living as a voiceover talent. So let us know who you are, where you're listening in from tonight, as you check in. We're glad you're here. Tonight's information, as I just mentioned, as people tell us that it really is eye-opening. It is a revelation to many people, and I think you'll find it to be that way as well. So I would encourage you to grab a pen and or pencil and paper or whatever it is you do to take notes, and take some notes and block out all the noise. Tell your family you're going to be, deep in study for the next hour, because I want to make sure I give you information that's not only exciting, because it is, but it's usable. And so looking forward to doing that tonight. And again, welcome. If you're, go ahead.
California. Checking in from Seal Beach, California.
Speaking of California, the only other place I would rather be than Bourbonnais, Illinois, is any place south of Bourbonnais, Illinois, right now. It's so cold. So cold. My daughter's going to San Diego this weekend, and I'm so jealous.
I actually had to put the AC on in the car today coming back.
Are you seriously? That's crazy. I can't even imagine.
Yeah, June from Long Beach, 73 today. Yep, right about the same. Maybe a little bit cooler here in Santa Clarita.
Wow, that's awesome. Good for you guys.
Yeah, people had from San Francisco, plenty warm here. Wow, in San Francisco? Golly, that's always good to hear. Crowley, Texas, Christopher checking in. Danny from Canada. Ooh, I know it's cold up there, Danny. We're in Canada. He'll tell us at some point here. Okay, got a lot of people coming in. If you're just coming in, folks, I'm Fred Gleek. I'm Bill's partner here, and we're just it's our Toronto, Danny. Nice city, love it. Excellent. Pretty chilly down here. Where, Chris? Oh my God, Jacob, 20 degrees in Colorado. Ice storm blew through. Way too cold for me. Me too.
I hear you.
Me too. About 3 minutes left till we get started. Bill, any other thoughts?
Well, the only thing I'm going to say is that when this is over, I've got a hot tub out back. I turned it up to 104 degrees. So it's over. I'm jumping in because it is cold out there. And that's how I warm my bones at night. The older I get, the more I need to warm my bones, I find.
Yeah, and tell people where you are from, for those who haven't heard.
Where I'm from?
Where you're coming in from today?
Oh, yeah. I live in Bourbonnais, Illinois, which is a little tiny village about an hour south of Chicago. When you live in Illinois, you're either in the city or in the middle of a cornfield, and I'm kind of in the middle of a cornfield. I mean, it's really, it's out there, close enough to the city that if I need to go in, I can. But I live out on a couple of acres, so it's like there's a horse ranch behind me, and there's room to kind of, move your elbows a little bit. It's quiet, and, I like it.
Yep, more people shuffling in here. And again, we're not going to start for another 2 minutes here in earnest. I don't know where Ernest is, but anyway, so we'll see here. That's my comedic skills. Thank you very much. No applause necessary.
Fred will be here all night.
Yeah. Good. Thank you for being here. So I'll give you the high sign when it's the top of the hour in about a minute and a half. Here.
So those of you coming in again, welcome. So glad to have you here. Grab something to take notes with and close the door. Lock everybody out. Tell them that the information you're about to get could really make a huge impact on the quality of your life going forward. And so I love working with people who are interested in not just recording voiceovers, but building an honest-to-goodness career in business within voiceovers. So that's our focus for tonight. Speaking of which, I had a busy day today in voiceovers. Busy day. And my hope for you is that, a year down the road, you'll say, man, I'm busy too. That's what I want for you as a voiceover talent.
Well, we don't want to represent that this can be you, but just for people just coming in, could you let them know how many dollars you made today?
Yeah, $2,200 today in voiceover work.
Now, that's not that's a pretty big day for you.
Yeah, it is. I was going to say that's not my average. I average more, 1,000, 1,200 a day would be like an average. So this was a bigger than usual day. It was busy. It was a busy day. And, and it was like a bunch of different stuff. I did like there's a big annual convention for like Ski-Doo coming up, and I was introducing the CEO and, some of the company executives. A recording for that. I did a recording session I did a public service thing for an organization in Indianapolis. I did another commercial for an organization in Southern California. I did e-learning. I mean, my days are very diverse.
You're right at the top of the hour, so being the kind of taskmaster I am, go ahead.
Let's do it. And good evening. Welcome once again. My name is Bill DeWees, and tonight we are going to talk voiceovers. And specifically, we are going to talk about the 3 steps to building a 6-figure voiceover business. So specifically, here's what we're going to cover tonight. Here's what you'll be learning. The 3 keys to voiceover success are getting found, getting heard, and getting hired. So those are the 3 things we're going to revolve around tonight, because these are the 3 keys, the 3 steps to your success: getting found, heard, and hired. Now, who's this webinar for? It's for voiceover artists who are just getting started and want to make sure they do things right from the get-go. It's also for a voice talent who have started, but you're not making what you would like to or feel that you deserve, or maybe you've been doing this for 20, 30 years, and you're finding that the base of your business is dwindling away and you don't know what to do about it. Who did I miss somebody? Oh, also people who are tired of what you're doing. It may have nothing to do with voiceover, and you just want something different, and you feel like you want to take control and work from home. And that's one of the things I like most about what I do, because I work from home. Who's this not for? Is there anybody possibly that this is not for? Yeah, if you're looking for like the get-rich-quick thing, the magic bullet, if you're not willing to work, if you can't take some instruction, if you're not willing to invest some time and money, then this probably isn't for you, because this is not a get-rich-quick scheme. This is something, this is an actual plan, a business plan and business strategies, and it does take work, but it does work. So if I were you, the first question I would have is, who the heck are you? Some of you may know me already. You may know me through other webinars, training programs that I've done, through my YouTube channel, which has over 400 instructional videos, 16,000 subscribers. We just crossed 16,000 subscribers, I think today, as a matter of fact. And if you haven't subscribed yet, love to have you do that. Bill DeWees is the name of the YouTube channel. But aside from that, a little about me on a personal level. These are the people who are most important to me in my life. This is my family, and I'm very my wife Vicki and I live here in Bourbonnais, and very fortunate that my 3 kids, and they're all grown, they all live here in town as well. And my 3 grandkids all live here in town as well. So these are the people who's really my life kind of revolves around, and are the motivation, for what I do. And actually, my daughter not only works for me now, but she records voiceovers. My son Tyler, he records voiceovers. And we're working on producing Alex, my youngest son, his demo right now, so that he can become involved in recording voiceovers as well. I also wrote the book on building a 6-figure voiceover business. Literally, how to start and build a 6-figure voiceover business, set your VO career on fire. But I think it's important for you to know I don't just talk about this. As I mentioned earlier, I do it. I've literally recorded over 10,000 projects during the course of my voiceover career. And these are just some of the clients I've had the great privilege of working for. People like Warner Brothers and Chevrolet and Pizza Hut, Walmart, Adidas, the Fox Network, National Geographic, John Deere, Weber, Miller, Staples, Kroger, the PGA Tour, which is one of my all-time favorite clients, being the golf fanatic that I am, QVC, DreamWorks, on and on and on it goes. So this is just to give you an idea. And the only reason I share these is so again, I'm not just talking about stuff off the top of my head. This is what I do for a living. As a matter of fact, I right before we went on, I grabbed the video. This is a project I just finished recording recently. If you're a video game nut, you may be familiar with a video game called Clash Royale. It's one of the top-selling, top-grossing video games right now. And I recently recorded the very beginning part. I hope this works. I'm going to put my headphones up to my mic so you can actually hear the audio. But I'm playing the sports announcer at the very beginning of this trailer promo for this video game. And I'm not going to play the whole thing. I'll just play the beginning. But this is me.
This is it, folks. The deciding play of the big game. It all comes down to this.
And I'll stop it there. That's just to give you something currently that I've done. And so my days are very diverse. I may do something like that, or it could be e-learning for a Fortune 500 company. It could be TV commercials. It could be any number of things. So my story is, I got involved. My early career was radio. I was a broadcaster, and I put, as you can see here, near broke broadcaster. If you've worked in radio, you know what that's like. Because if you're not doing a morning show in a major market, then you're not making nearly as much money as most people think that you would or think that you are. But I enjoyed it. I mean, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I transitioned into corporate work and was later downsized in 2006 when I was working for an instructional design firm. And it was at that time I decided to give it a shot to see if I could pursue the dream of recording voiceovers. And I've been doing it now for about 11 years, and I consistently make over $200,000 a year. As a matter of fact, right now, based on what I've done so far, early this year, I think that'll be closer to $300,000 for this year. Time will tell, but again, consistently over $200,000. And I've been voiceover coaching now for the past 6 years. What makes what I do, and so many of us who record voiceovers from home, is what I call the voiceover revolution. There's been a huge shift in the way business is done over the past several years, and it's no different in voiceovers. And the things that have made it possible are a little thing called the internet, also having access to computers, and recording equipment. Relatively speaking, is cheap. It just doesn't cost that much, to get started anymore. And because of this, it's eliminated the traditional gatekeepers of voiceover, like agents and SAG-AFTRA, the union. I'm not saying agents or SAG-AFTRA is bad. I'm just saying they no longer have a chokehold. I mean, they do not control everything that happens. As people, who work from home, we now have control over our own destiny, how we work and who we work with. It also eliminates that terrible commute that I do not miss in the morning. And also it has eliminated so much expense being able to work from home and really running a business that has practically no overhead. And it's given us this, a global marketplace. It literally does not matter where you live. You can, as long as you have internet access, you can work anywhere and work with anybody. Today I did, I'm trying to think how many, at least one, no, I did 2 projects today for European clients. And there's not a day that goes by, or rarely a day that goes by, that I'm not doing work for a client either in Europe or China or in South America or in some other country. It truly is a global marketplace. And you can work, again, literally from anywhere, including your home. Of course, having access to the refrigerator might not be the highlight of it. Also, and I had to include this because everybody jokes about working at home in your underwear. You could. I choose not to, but you literally could if you wanted to. So what is voiceover work? If you ask the average man or woman on the street, what's a voiceover? They would talk about things like these national TV commercials they see when they're watching TV at night, or the promos they see on Fox or ABC promoting the TV shows that are coming up later that evening, or movie trailers in a world, those kind of things, or cartoon characters. That's what most people think of when they think of voiceover, and they're absolutely correct. However, it in no way represents the majority of the work that's out there. It's literally, those things are just the tip of the iceberg. It also includes audiobooks, which is a huge market. Something called explainer videos, these little 2 to 3, 4 minute videos that explain your business. They're so cheap to make now that virtually every business has one on their website. Video games and digital products, on-hold messaging, IVR, which is where they take, you call like your bank, and they take bits and pieces of speech and put them together to tell you your balance, or it's that kind of thing. Apps. Thousands of apps are developed every year, and many, if not most, need voiceover. Theater pre-movie commercials, those commercials you see before the movie trailers start. And then internet pre-roll, which are those commercials you see on YouTube before the video starts. And that's not even a complete list. So the demand in the sense of the jobs that are out there have exploded. So the big question now is this for you? Is recording voiceovers for you? Well, my question for you would be, have you been downsized, or are you overworked? Are you retired or looking at retiring at some point in the near future? Or are you just tired of what you're doing and of the routine? Well, maybe voiceover is for you. And for those of you who have been in radio and television, you know that broadcasting ain't what it used to be. And I can only speak with great authority regarding the radio end of things. But, people like Wolfman Jack and Casey Kasem inspired me to get involved in radio. But over the past couple of decades, because of FCC deregulation, most radio stations and properties are owned by large conglomerates who really have have divided, or they've cut their staffs, and most employees now are overworked. There's very little creativity involved, and it's just become a grind for so many broadcasters. Well, opportunities, as you probably know if you've been in the job market for any length of time, they're shrinking in traditional markets. But here's the good news, and what I want you to understand is that opportunities are exploding in voiceover. According to Voices.com, which is one of the largest online voiceover marketplaces, the voiceover market is currently a $15 billion, with a B, $15 billion market. It's a pretty good-sized market. So my question for you is, what is your plan to build a sustainable six-figure income? I'm not talking about a one-off job. As a matter of fact, I recently coached a guy. He contacted me, needed help, and I said, what can I do for you? And he said, I've done this for a long time. I've had some success. As a matter of fact, my last job was for a Centrum Silver TV commercial. Made $100,000 on that one commercial. And that happens. It's not, the norm, but when you're doing national TV work, it's not uncommon to make 5-6 figures on a TV campaign. Fantastic. So my thought is, well, what's the problem? I said, okay, well, when was that? It was like 2 or 3 years ago, and he hadn't worked since. He didn't have a plan. That was my point. He was counting on his agent to save him, and the agent wasn't, and those jobs weren't coming through, and he did not know how to take control of his own career. And my question is your plan working? So like the gentleman that I told you about earlier, either you're playing the lottery and you're doing this on a wing and a prayer, and you're hoping against hope that you're going to snag the job that's going to bail you out, or are you using a proven business system? Well, it's a 3-step process to build a sustainable 6-figure voiceover income in today's environment, in today's voiceover marketplace. As I mentioned before, it's all about getting found, getting heard, and then getting hired. And I think you would agree, the best way to get where you want is to follow someone who's already done it. And this is something that I've done and that I continue to repeat year after year after year. So grab hold and hold on while I take you on this ride and show you how to go about building a 6-figure business. Step 1, let's talk about getting found. Well, I think to truly appreciate what it means today to get found, you have to understand the evolution of the industry. And so I want to start by showing you the hard way. This is the way it used to be. As I mentioned earlier, talent agents used to be the gatekeepers. And if you wanted to work, especially if you wanted to get decent, good paying jobs, you needed to be represented by a talent agent. Usually they were found in major metropolitan areas. So you needed to, first of all, get signed. And then if you were able to get signed, then you had to be available to go into audition. You had to drive into the city, either to a studio or to your agent's office, where you would sit with another, 50, 100 people, wait for your turn to audition. During business hours, so if you had a job or a career, you would have to make arrangements to not work during that time, get time off, take some time off to go in to do that. And then if you were fortunate enough to land the job, you had to travel back into the city, again, during business hours, of course, take time off work to record the gig. That's just not realistic or feasible for most people. If you have a career or a job, it's just not possible for most people, especially if you have a family to support. And I think you'd agree. That's not that nobody made it. A few people did, but that was certainly the hard way. Also, if you really wanted to rise to the top of your career, you had to go to the West Coast or the East Coast, New York or Los Angeles. And ideally Los Angeles, because Los Angeles was really seen as the capital of voiceovers. And so if you wanted to get the big auditions and you wanted to land the big gigs and you wanted to make a decent living, any kind of living as a voiceover, you really had to seriously consider going to Hollywood. So, and the problem was that you had to go where the work was. It's like, I think fishing is a great analogy for voiceovers. If you're going to record voiceovers, you got to go where the opportunities and the jobs are. And it used to be that it was Los Angeles or New York, and to a lesser degree, Chicago. The problem was, unless you lived there, you did not have access. So, of course, the answer to that, so the solution is simply, let's go where the work's at. Well, thankfully, today, that has all shifted. So where is the work today? That's what's relevant for me and you. So take a look at this graphic. 75% of ad agencies use an online marketplace to find, hire, and pay voiceover talent. Only 19% use talent agencies. So think about this. Over the past several years, it's moved from a nearly 100% talent agency thing, where that's where the work came, to now 75% have shifted over to find talent online. Only 19% are using the traditional methods. What that means is it's opened up a huge market and tons of opportunity for me and you. Check this out. 40% of ad agencies have migrated online because it's easier. 43% of ad agencies are looking for voice talent right now. Think about that for a second. There's a lot of people right now literally looking for voice talent. So let's talk about the easy way to do this. And let me make that just a little smaller so I can fit it all. There we go. So let's talk about the easy way to do that. Well, this article from The Atlantic, it talks about the surge in freelance, the freelance market. And that's probably not news to you. But something that you may not have thought about is how, or the implications for recording voiceovers. There's the shift to online, this freelance movement definitely is applicable to those of us who record or want to record voiceovers. And one of the easiest ways to begin generating work sooner rather than later is specifically a freelance website called Fiverr. Fiverr, 2 R's, Fiverr.com. There is a mistaken perception among many that Fiverr is a place where you go to do $5 jobs. There are $5 jobs on Fiverr, but what a lot of people don't understand is that 5 is just simply, it's the denomination that's used in determining what a job costs. So I've got students who are now, quite a few students who are making thousands of dollars a month recording voiceovers just by working through Fiverr. This is the only means that they do. I mean, my point is, you could, if you wanted just to focus on Fiverr, and you don't have to, but if you wanted to, you could literally generate thousands a month doing just that. And most of these people have just started within the past 6, 7, 8 months doing this. I was talking to a guy last week, I think it was, who told me that he recently landed, Fred, if you're still there, I don't know if you remember this. I'm trying to remember that. It was over $2,000. I think it was $2,100, if I'm not mistaken. Yep. Is that right? 21? Okay. He had quoted for a job. It was 1 hour of audio. He recorded 1 hour of audio for $2,100, and he did it through this platform, Fiverr.com. So, and again, I just give you this as the best example I know, or the best way to begin generating money quickly with voiceovers. Now, when it comes to freelance sites, there are all kinds of freelance sites out there, like freelancer.com, upwork.com, guru.com, odesk.com. If you just Google freelance, you'll find tons of websites. And if you decide to go the freelance route, the thing that you should have to keep in mind is that every website has its own community, has its own etiquette, has its own way of interacting and their own rules. And so you have to make sure you take your time and get to learn and understand how it works so that you can begin communicating with clients, people who are looking for voiceover people like you, so that you can begin generating income through these freelance sites. Now, the good news is there is no end to free lead sources. And when I talk about a lead, I'm talking about people who would be prospective clients or customers of yours. And some of the ways that I have acquired some of my best clients would be, for instance, through Craigslist. And a lot of people are shocked when I tell them that. But Craigslist has been a phenomenal source of leads for me. I have learned how to mine, as an M-I-N-E, to sift through Craigslist to find, the cherry jobs. And they are out there. I mean, you've got to search for them. But some of my best clients that I have today, I found through Craigslist. There's a website called Mandy.com you should check out. It is probably the world's largest online directory of media production companies. Media production companies, these are the people who create TV commercials, they create corporate videos, they create e-learning content, they may create apps. They're people who hire voice talent, and you will find tens of thousands of production companies on Mandy.com. And if you simply Google video production company, you'll quickly realize that there is no end to these type of companies that regularly hire voice-over talent. So no end. There is no end of leads that you don't have to pay for. So let's talk about getting heard. Now, when I talk about being heard, there's two components, two parts of being heard. One is you want to make sure that when somebody hears your audio, your recording, that the quality of your recording is good, that's not a turnoff. And I'm not even talking about your voice or the quality of your voice. I'm talking about the quality of your recording. And the other is the quality of your performance. Do you know what to do when you have a script, when you have to audition? Can you perform at a certain level there? So those are the two things to be aware of, the quality of your audio and the quality of your performance. Well, and once again, let me share with you the hard way, the way that it used to be. If you wanted to record, and I'm talking, keep in mind, from home, because what I do is all from home, and that's the way most of us who do this, those of us, if you want to make a good living, you usually, in most cases, you're going to need to do it from home because you can do a high volume of work from home. You don't have to drive and travel. Your time is spent marketing and recording by sitting in one spot all day long. And that's how I become very productive and have been able to grow my income. But the hard way, it used to be literally, it would cost tens of thousands of dollars to outfit a home studio. Back in the 80s, when I was working in radio, I went to a radio conference. I used to go every year to a radio conference in Nashville. I attended a workshop with a couple of pro voiceover guys, and I remember somebody in the audience said, "So what does it cost to set up your own home studio?" And the guy says, "Well, you need to plan on spending at least $50,000 to do professional home audio." Wow, that was literally twice more than I made a year in voiceover. So it was just, not only was it hard, it was impossible. A guy like me, and for most of us, just could not swing something like that to be able to do this from home. Well, today it's so much more simple and easy. I don't know if you can tell from my, from the webcam here or not, but that microphone that you're seeing in that picture is the exact same microphone I'm using tonight. It's called an Apogee mic. Apogee is the brand. It's a USB microphone. And by the way, this is not the only option out there. This is just one. I think it's one of the better ones. It's one that I own and I really like and I feel comfortable talking about. But you can literally, with a quiet, properly treated space in your home, could set a computer, and what you're looking at in the picture is a MacBook, but it doesn't have to be a MacBook. It can be a Windows machine, and it doesn't have to be new and powerful. Audio doesn't require a lot of processing power. And a good USB microphone like this Apogee mic, the cost of this microphone new is $199. And not only does it work, you just plug it directly into your computer with a USB cable, but you can also plug it directly into your iPhone or iPad. It's compatible with, I don't think they have it to work directly with Android devices yet, but it does with Mac devices. And some people literally carry one in the glove compartment of their car. And if a job comes up, they can plug it into their iPhone or their iPad in their car, because cars are actually great acoustic environments. And I had a friend the other day, actually, his daughter's in the hospital, and he had work he needed to do, and he set up inside of his car and was recording work from inside of his car because it's so quiet and well treated. So it's much easier and far cheaper today. So let's talk now about performance. What you do when you're behind the mic in terms of performance. Well, the hard way, the way it used to be, and I'm sure many of you remember this, it used to be that every time you heard somebody on TV or radio, and they used to be predominantly men, because they wanted these big, booming, authoritative voices. And that's the voice of the late, or not the voice, you're not hearing him, the face of the late Don Pardo, the booth announcer for Saturday Night Live, who was famous for his big voice. And that used to be what people wanted. That's what broadcast outlets wanted. That's what agents wanted. That's what clients wanted, because being authoritative and in your face and big and bold, that was the thing. And that was the hard way. But today it's not that way. Regular people with regular voices can make a really good living recording voiceovers. And, I work with a lot of school teachers and pastors, and salespeople and marketers and stay-at-home moms and people who like to communicate. Because what most clients and agents and casting directors are looking for now, they're looking for people who can be authentic, people who can be genuine. Because the mantra now is tell it, don't sell it. People are tired of being sold and told what to do, and they want to hear somebody they feel like they can believe and relate to. So here's some information to help you when it comes to what to do behind a microphone. Keep this in mind. It is all about context, understanding that every script is a story. And our job as voice talent is to understand what the story is and how we fit into the story. What's my role? Who am I talking to? Where are we? Those are a few of the most important questions to be aware of, because keep this in mind. People will ultimately hire you, not because you try to sound like fill-in-the-blank celebrity, not because you try to sound like Susan Sarandon or George Clooney or Sam Elliott, the voice of the Dodge Ram trucks, or Dennis Leary, the voice of the Ford F-150 trucks, because those guys are already here. People will hire you because they believe you. They feel that there's an authenticity, that you're not trying to be somebody that you're not. And it really boils down to expressing your emotions. Keep this in mind. The natural human response to getting behind a microphone is to sound professional. We want to sound good. But what listeners want, listeners meaning not only customers who listen to advertising, but clients and casting directors and talent agents, they want to know that you can express how you feel behind a microphone. What do I mean? Here's an example for you. And by the way, this is true. I don't care if you're selling used cars or you're selling healthcare. The formula is always the same. The outcome is always going to be different because the context is different. The story is going to be different. The emotion is going to be different. But here's an example script. As a matter of fact, usually when I'm working with a new student, this is a script I often give them because I just want to see what they do with it without any kind of coaching or feedback from me. So this is for St. Louis Children's Hospital. And when I ask somebody to read it, typically the read will go something style-wise. Their first read will be like this before I have a chance to coach them. Here at St. Louis Children's Hospital, we're not supposed to get emotionally attached to our patients, but we're only human. And they're superhuman. And really, they're not even our patients because we belong to them, and we'll do everything humanly possible to make them better. Because their focus is on how they sound. Do I sound professional? Am I reading at the right pace? Am I emphasizing the right words? Am I pausing in the right places? And those are all the wrong questions to be asking yourself. The question is, who are you? Who are you talking to? And how do you want your audience to feel? You're talking to parents of children who at some point may need the services of a children's hospital. It's pretty heavy stuff. What do they need from you if you're the spokesperson for this hospital? They need compassion. They need care. They need to know that you've got their back. So if I was reading it, this is the way that I would authentically approach it. Here at St. Louis Children's Hospital, we're not supposed to get emotionally attached to our patients, but we're only human. And they're superhuman. And really, they're not even our patients because we belong to them, and we'll do everything humanly possible to make them better. I'm not suggesting that you would want to sound like me because remember, this is not about sounding like anything. It's about being yourself. If you had to sit down next to a parent in a waiting room at a children's hospital, and you were the doctor or you were the hospital administrator, how would you talk to them? And then you allow that to guide the read. Now, and again, that's one example. Of course, we need to develop performance skills for all kinds of different commercials. The formula is the same, but again, the outcome would be different. For narration, e-learning, there's corporate work, audiobooks, character voices, promos, radio imaging. So there's a lot of different things to learn, but what I just shared with you would be the guiding principle for all these things. So what is the secret sauce for voiceover performance? Just remember this. It is emotion. If you feel it, your audience will feel it. Remember, an audience doesn't respond because you sound good. They respond because they resonate with you. They think that you believe something, that you have a sense of passion about it, a sense of conviction. And if they do, you'll make them feel something, and that in turn will get you hired. Now, let's talk about from a technical standpoint, what do you need to be able to record and deliver awesome audio? Well, you need a computer with internet connection. I just want to clarify, and I mentioned it briefly before, but just to make sure that, I would never want you to think that you need to go out and buy the latest, greatest computer to do this, because you really don't. Windows, Mac, even Linux will all work. And if you don't know what Linux is, don't worry about it. You don't need to look it up. Whatever kind of computer you've got, this is going, you can record voiceovers, because it's not, recording audio is not demanding on the processing power and the memory of your computer. I've got my backup computer, and I have backups of everything because this is my living, so I just make sure I have redundancies. My backup computer is about a 10-year-old Dell Optiplex. 10 years old. And it works. Now, thankfully, I don't have to use it very often, but my point is, don't go out and spend a bunch of money. You need a good microphone that gives you good, and I think you would agree, if you can hear very well what's going on, if you're listening through good headphones or speaker. This is this Apogee mic that I'm using, it's a high-quality microphone. And for $199, that's a great investment in your business. But I'll be honest with you, my first microphone, you can buy now for like $50. It was cheaper than this. And I recorded national TV ads with it. My point is, if you shop carefully, and you can buy good equipment at a low price point. Spending outrageous amounts of cash on your equipment does not translate into getting more work. Having good audio can help you get good work. But understand, you don't have to spend a fortune to get good audio. You'll need recording software, but thankfully you can get that for free too. If you have a Mac, GarageBand will work just fine. If not, there is a free source program called Audacity. Just Google, download Audacity, and you'll find a version that will work for every platform. A lot of professional voiceover talent use it. It's absolutely free. There are other ones that you can buy, but these are some good free options. Also, having Skype is very handy. Like today, I did 2 recording sessions today where I had clients on the line with me, so they could listen and direct while I read. So they could tell me how to read it, so forth and so on, a directed session. Of course, you'll need some sort of headphones. They don't have to be expensive, just something you can hear what's going on, here to edit your audio, hear the client when they're talking to you. But here are the 2 most important factors in recording good audio. Most people think it's their microphone. It's not. The most important consideration in your audio quality is the space in which you record. That will have more influence on the quality of your audio than anything. It needs to be quiet, so you need soundproofing, or to find the quietest place in your house. It may be your basement, maybe a spare bedroom. It may be an interior walk-in closet. If you have an interior walk-in closet, usually that's an ideal place to put your studio, because the clothes in the closet. Actually, I worked out of a closet for like 4 years, my bedroom closet, and it creates great treatment, because that's the second thing, sound treatment. You want to be quiet, but sound treatment, things like clothing, moving blankets, this acoustic foam that I have in here, mattress toppers, anything that's absorbent will absorb the extra sound waves bouncing around on the walls and keep you from getting that big boxy reverb, bouncy sound. You don't want that. So again, allow quietness and sound treatment to be the main considerations in getting quality audio, because quality audio is important. Step number 3, let's talk about getting hired. You have to become as much about the business as you are the performance. Having great talent does not equal money. And that's a wake-up call to a lot of people. And let me explain. When I first started coaching about 6 years ago, the very first people who called me were not new talent. I thought what would happen is people who were new at this, trying to get established, would be the first people to call me. Some of the first people who contacted me were Los Angeles established voiceover talent, professional voice talent, not newbies, but who were having a hard time creating a sustainable income, making a living doing it, because they lived from job. They were playing the lottery. Occasionally they would get the job, make a decent amount of money, and they would go for a year or 2 or however long until they could get their next job. but they were relying solely on their talent and their agent to get them the job. So talent does not equal dollars. What equals profit for you is this: talent, ability. You have to establish a certain ability to perform, but also having the right business skills and understanding and knowledge. If you have those two things, that is what will equal profit for you, a sustainable, continuing voiceover income. So, getting hired through your performance, two things to focus on. One would be the right read for your demos, and the other is the right read for your auditions. So let me explain that briefly. Your demo is pre-recorded material that you use that represents you so that people can hear that, like agents or prospective clients. They usually listen to that before they decide whether to even give you an audition to listen to. So having the right skills in recording your demo material is important. And it's also, you have to understand or have the right skills, really, which is what we just talked about earlier, is when I read that hospital script for you, having the right read for your auditions, because the battles are won. I don't even like the word battle. It's not a battle. It's just part of what we do. We audition for work. Most everything you'll get is done through an audition. Now, sometimes people just hire me outright. Occasionally, somebody will contact me, maybe once or twice a week, and say, "Hey, Bill, I've got a job. You want to do it?" Those are awesome. And when I get those, I'm thrilled. But usually it's in the form of, "Hey, here's an audition. Will you read this?" And so you do. And occasionally, a certain portion of those, you win as jobs. So it's about, you're getting hired through your performance skills, through your demos to get opportunities, and through your auditions to secure and get the job. Now, you're also going to get hired through your marketing efforts. Knowing how to target voice seekers. As I mentioned earlier, and this is something that I think you should make a note to remember, because it's easy to get caught up in the idea that, well, gosh, I'm late to the party. Isn't the market inundated, and how in the world could somebody like me start getting work? I recorded a video about that the other day on YouTube, and yes, there are a lot of people getting involved. Reality is most of them are not well prepared. Most of them do not know what they're doing, meaning they have not done their due diligence, they haven't researched it, they have not sat through a webinar like this, they have not gone through any kind of training. They're just kind of flying by the seat of their pants. So that's one thing to keep in mind. The other thing is, most of them don't have a clue about how the business side of this works. They don't understand the proper strategies that they have to do on a regular basis to make sure that they get opportunities. So, but here's the thing you have to understand, is not only is it not as competitive as it may seem on the surface, but there are exponentially more opportunities now than there were just a few years ago because of the proliferation of apps and of digital media. There is a mushrooming demand for voiceover work. And so understanding who these people are and to target them. And as I mentioned earlier, most of these people will be found in media production companies. So they're not that hard to find. And then also using different methods of communication to get to them. Using not being afraid to use your telephone to call and make contact. Understanding how to use email. Video email can be a very novel way to communicate with prospective clients. And then also understanding, and I used to actually teach marketing in an MBA program, that many people don't realize is that it requires continual communication to get somebody to remember you. So it's not a matter of reaching out to somebody and saying, "Hi, I'm Bill DeWees. I'm a voice talent. If you ever need somebody, let me know." Well, great. Well, tomorrow they forgot who you are. So having a marketing plan means that there is a frequency of communication that ensures that people don't forget about you, so that when that one job comes, the big job comes along, they remember you. Let me give you an example of that. I signed on with an agency in Europe years ago. Didn't hear anything from them for 4 years. And by the way, I know that's not an inspiring story, but I just want to give you an example, and this is not necessarily the norm, but this is the way it worked in this case. Didn't hear from them for 4 years. And then one day, out of the blue, they're like, "Hey, Bill, we've got a project for you." Because I stayed in touch with them. I did not allow them to forget about me. Well, fast forward to today, I've done hundreds of projects for them, including being hired as the global brand voice for Chevrolet, the Chevrolet Find New Roads campaign, where I was on their TV commercials all over the world. And it came because I made sure that that one agency in Europe never forgot about me. And 4 years later, and most don't take that long, but that was just one of those examples, a reminder that, yeah, you got to stay in touch with people. Now, it's also important that you understand it's not about just getting hired. It's about getting rehired. You may have heard it is easier, it's cheaper, and it's far more fun to get rehired by somebody who's already working with you than to go out and find a new client. And what a lot of voiceover talent don't understand, and I want to make sure that you do understand, is that there's some simple things that you can do that will help to ensure that the client who hires you today hires you again next week, and the week after that, or the next time they need somebody. One is communication. Clients are human beings. They like the same things that you and I like. They like it when people communicate with them and let them know what's going on. And I've talked with enough clients to know that, generally speaking, most clients think of creatives, meaning us, voice talent, as being fairly flaky, sometimes prima donna-ish, and not feeling the need to act in a business-like manner. And part of being business-like is staying in touch and communication and let clients know what's going on, responding when clients contact you about a job, letting them know the status of the job. It means honoring your commitments. If you say you're going to deliver that recording in 24 hours, that you deliver it in 24 hours or 48 or whatever the agreement is, you honor that commitment. And if for some unseen circumstance you can't, you communicate and you let them know. You've got to be easy to work with. Don't make your client jump through hoops, because if you do, chances are they'll go to somebody else that's easier to work with. And also being accessible. I mean, you have to have boundaries. And I try my best not to work weekends and later in the evening, because I need it to charge my battery to be able to do what I do, because it's a lot of work, recording as much as I do during the day. But you can't make clients wait for days to hear back from you, because if you're that inaccessible, then they probably won't work with you, because usually voiceover is the last link of the production chain. Here's the way it usually works. Our voices are usually put to video in some way, shape, or form. Maybe it's an app, maybe it's an explainer video, maybe it's a documentary, maybe it's a commercial, maybe it's a corporate video, maybe it's e-learning content. But usually the voiceover is the last chain of production. So it's storyboarded, and then all the visuals and the videos created, the script is written, it's all put together, and then it's like, we need a voiceover. Usually voiceover is the very last thing, and usually, I'd say 95% of the time, it's an urgent matter when they come to us, and it's usually needed quickly, within 24 hours, sometimes same day. Not always, but usually it works that way. So being accessible and being responsive, all of those things go a long way. And I believe a big part of my success today is the way I've treated my clients over the years, because a lot of my clients come back to me over and over and over again. And it's made it much easier for me to grow my business. Something that you'll need along this process is a demo. I mentioned it earlier. Let me talk about it in a little more depth. A demo is a recorded representation of what you're able to do. There will come a time in your career that you will need a professionally produced demo. And what that is it's a short piece of audio, typically about 60 seconds in length, especially if it's a commercial demo. And there'll be anywhere from 6, 7, 8 different commercial segments within that script that showcase your capabilities, the range of your personality, and the range of the emotion that you can express, different contexts. There might be a retail type read where it's very urgent, excited, this weekend only, save 50% off everything in the store. Or it might be a healthcare spot that's very tender and compassionate. Or it might be like a Boston Market guy or girl next door, being friendly. But the point is, over 60 seconds, you're on a whirlwind ride representative of what you can do, but it's showcased in a very highly produced piece that sounds like it was pulled right off of network television. Well, you don't have to do that right off the bat, because it's a little involved, and it's an investment when you do that. And I really believe that you should not put yourself in the hole when you're first getting started. You should generate as much money as you can up front and operate on cash as best you can. And that's one of the great things about voiceover is you don't have to put a ton of money in up front. Overhead is low if you work from home. And if you buy sensibly with equipment, you can keep your costs low. And of course, there are training expenses and all of that, but you can keep those very low and pay for them as you go. And one of the things I suggest when you first start is creating a DIY demo. What is that? Well, you simply, and by the way, DIY demos these are something you would want to use specifically on freelance websites. That's where I would suggest using them, like on Fiverr.com, for instance. Go to YouTube, and there are thousands of commercials on YouTube, and find 4 scripts that represent, and these are my 4 suggestions. Get an upbeat commercial. Get a guy or gal next door commercial, maybe a corporate or e-learning type of video, or an explainer video narration like, meet Bob. You've seen that. Meet Bob. Bob has a problem. Bob's overweight, but Bob met Nutrisystem. Now Bob feels good. You get the idea. That's an explainer video. Find 3 or 4. I recommend 4, and again, these are my recommendations, and just use YouTube to find them because it's okay to take scripts, other people's scripts, and use portions of them for representative purposes. Don't sell them for profit. That would be illegal. You don't want to do that. But just transcribe and get 15 to 20 seconds of each commercial, record them, edit them together, throw them up on your profile, and that way you can show prospective clients what you're capable of. And you can begin making money in the short term, and then save your money as you go to invest in the other things that you want to do down the road. Maybe you want to invest in more expensive, elaborate recording equipment, in a professional demo, et cetera, et cetera. But then you can do it on cash, and you don't have to put yourself in the hole to do it. And I'm sure not only would you, but maybe your spouse and other in your family appreciate that when you take that kind of sensible approach to your business. So we've been talking about the 3 keys to building a 6-figure voiceover business. You got to be found. If you don't get found, nothing happens. Once you're found, people have to hear you. The technical quality has to be good, and you've got to know what you're doing in terms of a performance standpoint. And then you have to know how to close that deal and continue to be hired again and again. Now, would you agree that having a compass is pretty awesome and extremely helpful? And that's really what I've shared with you. It's a compass to begin to point you in the right direction so that you can begin making some good decisions and not waste time and energy and money getting to where you need to go. But also that having a map with all of the specific strategies, a roadmap, tools would be exponentially better. Well, that's what I want to share with you. And I'm the guy at the top there, by the way. I've done this for a while. I know how to do it. And my purpose in being here is to help you to make your path shorter, easier, to help you not spend more money, more energy, more time than you absolutely have to. So let me ask you a question. And I want to see your response, if you would, in the Q&A box on your screen. How would you like if I showed you how to cut 90% of the learning curve out of building your own successful voiceover business? And I'm talking about starting from absolute zero, from scratch, and start generating income within the next month, possibly even within the next week. Now, is that something you would be interested in learning more about? And if so, just let me see your response in the Q&A box. I have an offer for you tonight, but I'm only going to share it with you if you really want to learn about it. And no hard feelings if you don't, but I really want you to be successful. If you're interested, just let me know if it's okay if I share the next steps in eliminating 90% of the learning curve of building your own successful voiceover business. Again, I don't want to assume anything.
Yes,
Are we good?
Absolutely.
Okay, so get on with it then, Bill. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yep.
Okay, great. So what I'm going to share with you is this: the 6-figure voiceover blueprint training program. This is comprehensive. It's the tools, the roadmap, the specific how-tos and strategies to begin building your voiceover business immediately and start generating income within the next 30 days. The program has over 40 hours, you heard me right, over 40 hours of streaming video content. So meaning this is accessed online, so you have access to it anywhere, anytime, as long as you have internet access. It's on in streaming format. It's organized into 3 high-performance training modules to help you build a profitable and sustainable business. So if you want to make a 6-figure plus income, if you want to work from home, which I got to tell you, that's one of the greatest blessings of doing this, is working from home. To spend more time with your family, to work from where you want to work. And if you want to go from this to breakneck speed, well, then this is the program for you. So, step one. In this program, I'm going to teach you how to get found. So imagine this. You wake up every morning, you know the precise steps to take that day to grow your voiceover career and your business. And this is regardless of whether you've got all day or you just have 15 minutes, a 15-minute break at your current job. You'll know exactly what to do for that day to move things forward. Also, I'm going to share with you the 3 secrets to start making money within 1 to 2 weeks on Fiverr.com. And I just put up a couple of people in here to give you an example. The first is Donnie Barn, who posted this a little while back to show he got started and he posted his numbers. In May, he made $36. In June, he made $190. In July, $790. In August, $2,506. And I don't have his latest numbers, but I can tell you this. I've got a number of students. And by the way, we have like an online support group for people. And I'll tell you more about that in just a bit, who share and contribute and support each other. But we've got a number of people who are now making thousands of dollars a month just through Fiverr, and some who have already quit their old jobs and are doing this now on a full-time basis. Gary shared that he continues to see growth in Fiverr, but what he really loves is being able to plug into this group and to share on Facebook and to support each other. Also, I'm going to teach you the specific strategies to mine Craigslist, how to sift through the crap to get through the gold, and to find jobs that most voiceover talent completely overlook. And as I mentioned before, some of my best clients that I have today have come through Craigslist. I'm going to teach you how and who to look for online so that you can connect with the decision makers. Also, my really simple method that I use to get clients to say yes within 60 seconds on the phone. And I don't only tell you about it, I record it. I record myself making real telephone calls to real prospective clients so you can hear the interaction so that you know exactly how that works so that you can go out and duplicate and do the exact same thing. Also, I'm going to teach you how to make online casting sites like voices.com and voice123.com your greatest source of leads. Right now, most of my new clients come from these 2 websites, and I do it passively. In other words, I just get up and look at my inbox, and I find people who have come to me asking me if I'm interested in working for them, that's a nice thing to happen. Also, I'm going to teach you how to become a most listened to talent on voices.com. If you look here, I just pulled this off the other day. I'm not always number one right now, or as of this day, and I might be right now, I'm not sure, number one most listened to male talent on voices.com. But I'm usually within the top 3, sometimes maybe 4 or 5. But I've learned how to make sure that I get heard, to make sure that I get opportunities to get hired. And by the way, if you look here, there's, I think, 1, 2, 3, at least 4 of these people, I believe, are students of mine and I've worked with. So I'm able to help people do the same thing. And here's a list of, I know how to help people get hired. Here's a recent listing of the most recent 6 people to be hired on voices.com, 2 of which are students of mine. I'm going to teach you how to create simple client proposals that help you to get hired. Also, online audition strategies that keep clients listening. One of the big challenges of auditioning is that there's a lot of people doing it. So you have to understand the little tricks on how to get people not only to listen, but to keep them listening so that you can let them know and show them that you're the right person for the job. I'm going to show you how to get online jobs passively by supercharging your profile, essentially making it a magnet so that people come to you, so that you don't always have to be reaching out to them. Also, this is very exciting. I'm going to show you how to leverage your marketing by learning how to get commercial production companies to do the marketing for you. Because commercial production companies need voiceover talent, and that's how they can use you to market to their clients, which are radio stations and TV stations. I never market directly to TV and radio stations. Never. I don't have to because I know how to get other people to do it for me. Also, I'm going to teach you how to go global by learning to work with foreign agencies. It's nearly as easy to work with clients in Europe and China and Russia as it is to here in the U.S. or Canada. People all around the world are looking for North American voices. In North America, they're looking for Australian and British and Indian voices. I mean, it's a global marketplace. Step 2, I'm going to teach you how to get heard. Well, I'll teach you about some budget-friendly choices beyond what we talked about today for pro home audio. Also, how to search out and find the best recording space in your home, assuming that that's where you want to do your recording, because that is the most profitable place, I should add, to do your recording. Also, some creative and affordable acoustic treatment options for your home studio. It doesn't have to be complicated. Also, I'm going to teach you to cheaply and easily use technology to work globally in real time. Part of being a profitable voice talent is understanding, well, you have to edit audio. If you work from home, you've got to do your own audio. But I'm going to teach you not only how to edit, but I'm going to teach you how to do it quickly and easily so that you're streamlined so that you can spend more time marketing and recording, which ultimately helps you make more money. Also, you could find audiobook work and submit your first audition tonight because the market, audiobooks are the largest. It's the fastest, not the largest. Narration is the largest. The audiobook market is the fastest growing. And right now, demand exceeds supply. How to choose your audiobook niche, which is an important part of becoming an audiobook narrator. So that's part of what I'll teach you. How to create your own audiobook characters if you want to do fiction. Also, you're going to learn how to get character work in video games, in digital toys, in TV, and more, and literally create your first character today. I'll teach you how to find work in VoiceOver's largest niche, which is narration. And that involves learning how to perform for e-learning, corporate jobs, documentaries, commercials, promos, radio imaging, and explainer videos. And how to get heard in the next 48 hours by creating your own DIY demo. Next, I'm going to teach you how to get hired. Strategies to keep your clients coming back for more. One of the big keys to sustainable growth, getting hired again and again, how to set and negotiate great rates. A lot of people are intimidated and see this as a very complicated adversarial project. Not true. Not true at all. It's quite simple. Just understanding the specific strategies can help you dramatically increase your income. How to double, triple, even quadruple, your rate on a single voiceover job. Also, I'll teach you my easy system of collecting. I was telling somebody this the other day, and they were finding it hard to believe, but it's true. Over 99% of everything I bill, I invoice around $250,000 a year. I collect 99. I think Mallory, my daughter, who's also my assistant, was calculating this the other day. It's like 99.7% is about where I stand with my collections, which means there's only like a few $100 a year that I don't get. And usually it's because that company has gone out of business. It's not complicated. It's not difficult. It's not adversarial. It's simple. It's just a matter of implementing a simple system. Also, I'm going to teach you how to avoid the income ups and downs of building a voiceover business. Roller coasters they're fun in the amusement park. They are not so much fun with your income. And one of the things I love about my job is that even though it's not exactly the same every week, because, when you're self-employed, it's just not going to be, it is extremely consistent. I never have to worry about whether I'm going to make my mortgage payment or my car payment or anything like that. Also, I'm going to teach you my pruning strategy that will allow you to work less and make more. Who doesn't want that? Also, occasionally you got to take some time off. I'm going to teach you how to take time off without losing your clients to another voiceover talent. Also, there will come a time where you will be able to make more money by hiring an assistant. And that's what I did a few years ago by hiring my daughter, and it has paid off handsomely. She loves it. I love having her here, and I make more money because of it. My net profit is greater, even though I pay her to help me out. And she's learned how to be a voiceover talent in the process. So that's something else you'll learn in my program. So the big question now is, does this system really work? Well, let me share with you what some folks have shared with me. It's one of my favorite people, Anthony Gettig. I'll just read you a little bit of this email. It's with great joy that I share with you that I finally did it. I achieved the six-figure voiceover income today. Here's a screenshot of the summary from FreshBooks. Then he goes on to say, this is the amount I've billed so far, and the year isn't over. I've already collected $104,000. And then he goes on to say, Bill, I really want to say a huge thank you for everything you've helped me with. Call me crazy, but I believed all that talk about building a six-figure voiceover income, without a doubt. Your sage wisdom through your videos, the VO playbook, and our conversations have all contributed to this day. Also, here's a handwritten note, and I get a lot of handwritten notes, and I love someday my hope is that you would be able to send me a thank you note and say, Bill, when I first heard you, I thought, man, this sounds pretty awesome. But I was thrilled to find out that it actually does work. And this came in from a guy by the name of Todd, who I started working with a little while back. And he said, he wanted to take a brief moment to thank me again for all my insight and wisdom. And he goes on to say he kind of looks at me as a kind of a bit of a big brother when it comes to the voiceover business. But here's the back that I wanted to show you on the card. He said, I also wanted to let you know that on September 29th, I reached 6 figures in my voiceover career. And so that's always gratifying to see. And then here's an email I got recently from a new student I just started working with by the name of Keith Harris. And he said, I've made money on every course I've taken from you. And Fiverr was a real surprise. I've been in business as a part-time VO artist for a year and a half. My goal was to make an extra $24,000 a year. I'll do closer to $40,000 this year. And then let me share another one here from Mark Holcomb. And he was writing to let me know his goal was to build up to where he wanted a $1,000 day. He wanted to hit that first one, and that's a good feeling when you make $1,000 in one day and you know that you can actually do it. And he was writing to say that he said, well, my friend, it finally happened. He had hit $1,025 the previous day. Now, here are a few other folks. These are not newbies. These are established talent in Los Angeles and Chicago. And, Trevor Jones, Cassie Boyd, Fred Freeze, they're all established West Coast talent, saying some very nice things. Bruce Laurie, who was a longtime VO pro in Chicago. And then Terry Badu, who contacted me a while back, he recently retired as CNN news anchor of the international desk, and he was contacting me for some help as he was transitioning from CNN into professional voiceover work. So the 6-figure voiceover blueprint, let's talk about the offer now. So we've got Module 1, how to get found, the Module 2, how to get heard, Module 3, how to get hired. The total value, $2,037, and that's just not an arbitrary number I made up. Actually, if you bought all the programs that are contained under the umbrella of the blueprint, it would literally, you could go do it right now and add up to $2,037. But I wanted to add some more stuff to help you out and add more value to the program for you. So I've got some bonuses. The first is the videos from my recent VoiceOver Revolution event that I did with my friend and just one of the country's top talent based out of L.A., Dave Fenoy. And during that time, Dave shares secrets to breaking into the video game business. Fred, if you're nearby, I think you posted something the other day. Wasn't he recently listed as one of the all-time great video game voices by IMDb or...
IMDb, top 20 of all time.
So, I mean, that's some serious cred right there. Dave Fenoy is the real deal. And I teach you some next-level inbound marketing techniques that allow me to work less, make more, and also how to win more VO jobs and grow your career. It was a 2-day live event. You get the videos to that. The people who attended that paid $397. So now the value of the package with the 6-figure blueprint and the Revolution Live videos, $2,434. What else do you need? Is there anything else I can throw in? Yep. How about a month of free DeWees membership? Let me talk about this because this is a big deal. I am really excited about this. People who are DeWees members, what that means is you're put into a private Facebook group. These are all people who are serious about building a full-time voiceover income, and some are in the process of getting there, but they support each other. I'm certainly involved, but they help each other out just as much, if not more. Also, you have personal interaction with me, not only through the website and through my live feeds, which we'll talk about more in a moment, but I also do bi-weekly webinars so that if you have questions, concerns, you need some help, we even I coach people on their reads during these webinars. We do those every 2 weeks. Also, every member gets event and program discounts. I include bonus training that nobody else sees, just members. And also, you get access to all of my archived content. The people, this is a team. This is a people who are on the same team. We're growing together. We're kind of elevating each other's game. Together, I do believe that, as cliche as it is, everybody achieves more. And I stream, and this is the icing on top. This is the cherry on top of the sundae. And what you're looking at are a bunch of videos that were recorded live, or were done live and then recorded and archived on this Facebook group. I stream live all of my voiceover work every day from my studio. So had you been a member today, you could log into Facebook and you would have seen me do my 2 live sessions. You would see me, I recorded radio, some radio promo work. I recorded the nonprofit job I talked about. I recorded a commercial for another client in San Francisco. I don't know, I did a bunch of stuff today. It was all done live on Facebook. Now, if you didn't catch it live, no big deal, because after I'm done streaming, it's archived and it's posted where you can go in and access and you can watch it later. So the idea is you can watch me audition. You can watch me record. I think I have this. Oh yeah, there's just a little screenshot what it looks like. So it's not just my face. You see me edit my audio. You see the correspondence, the emails that I get from my clients, and the correspondence back and forth. Mallory, my daughter, even though she's here with me, she's actually outside in another room, and we communicate over Skype. So you get to watch and listen in on all. You're literally over my shoulder seeing what's going on, and so you can listen in on those conversations. So again, it's auditions, live client-directed sessions, my communication with clients, my audio editing, my miscellaneous thoughts, rants, and musings. So I mean, I try to keep it as real as possible. If I'm frustrated, I'll let you know that. If I'm amused, I'll let you know that. Whatever's going on, I pretty much talk about it as I do it, stream of consciousness. So everything I do as a voice talent is live, and you're there over my shoulder to watch. The cost of DeWees membership is $197 a month, and so I'm going to give you a month of that. So now the value with the VoiceOver Blueprint at $2,037, the live event videos $397 value, and DeWees membership $197 value. Total value, $2,631. But I also want to throw in something else. This is the next bonus. This is a marketing workshop I did in Columbus, Ohio at the VO Midwest Conference. And I talk about my marketing wheel concept, where you can find an endless supply of prospective clients. I also will teach you how to make more money using the dollars per day as opposed to the dollars per job approach, which is a real game changer. Also, some real VO guerrilla marketing strategies that work. The value of that is $147. So with the blueprint and the event videos, the membership, and the Midwest Marketing Seminar video, the value $2,778. But wait, it's true, there's more. I'm also going to throw in the videos from my 2-day VO Playbook Marketing Workshop. So this is where I actually work with talent in a roundtable setting over the course of 2 days to help them learn how to implement marketing strategies for their business. So during this event, I teach you how to create another income stream by learning copywriting. Also, you'll learn new methods of applying marketing principles through the roundtable discussion with talent and how to leverage your time to manage the marketing piece of the business with the performance piece. So the blueprint, $2,037. The event videos, $397. DeWees membership, $197. The marketing seminar, $147. The value of the playbook, people who went to that paid $847 to be there. The full value right now, $3,625. But I had to throw in one more thing, and that is my top 100 VO questions. It is a reference. It's online streaming video, over 10 hours of content that are my answers to the top 100 questions that I'm asked. And it's cataloged and referenced, and it's divided down by category like performance and marketing and industry and technical questions, so that when you're in the studio and you're working and you get stumped or you have a question about something, you can go to my top 100 questions and get an in-depth answer right then and there. So again, kind of like me being over your shoulder. So you add that to the pile here, and the full value of the program is now $3,822. And let me share with you one more email here. And he just wanted to let me know that my marketing program, he's been able to spend time putting that into play, and that as a result, he was recently signed by AB Squared, it's a talent agency, and he had a meeting coming up to be represented by another agency, and he said he's been doing voiceovers for 20 years, but it wasn't until he put my system into place to get the results that he has now. And he just wanted to write to thank me. So if all I did was help you build a profitable business working from home or the road or the beach and gave you the freedom to live life the way you want it, would it be worth it? If I helped you transition out of your current job or make money during retirement and set your own course, would what you've seen be worth it? If it saved you years and thousands of dollars on trial and error, would it be worth it? Well, here's the special offer we've put together, or I should say, that we did put together. We were offering this nearly $4,000 package for only $997. But Fred and I talked, and we agreed that and I think you would agree, that's a great value. I mean, it's 25% of what we would normally sell it at. But $1,000 it's still a lot of money, regardless of the value. It's still a lot of money, and could still be a bit of a pinch for many, to pay for that. So what we wanted to do was to create a very special offer. So, which is the 6-figure blueprint program and all the bonuses we've showed, which with the bonuses, it adds up to over 60 hours now of streaming video content. And we're not offering it $9.97. What we want to do is do this. Make it available to you for just $47 every 2 weeks for a year. So that after a year, you would own the program outright forever, as long as you want. And in addition, you get the month of DeWees membership, as we mentioned, but at the end of that month, you will be provided a one-time offer that if you want to continue it, remember the regular price is $197 a month. If you wanted to continue it, you could do so for $100 off of that per month, for only $97 a month. So to order this, BillDeWeesLive.com/go. That's the place to do it. BillDeWeesLive.com/go. I want you to join my team and these people who are turning their dream into reality by following this very easy-to-follow system. Now, I'm not promising you that I'm a Mr. Miyagi, but I really want to help guide you, to teach you the strategies and the techniques to make you powerful in the voiceover business, to help you to be able to accomplish and do more than you ever dreamed that you could possibly do. And I wouldn't sell something without some sort of guarantee, because I want to make sure you understand there is absolutely no risk to you in this at all. My guarantee is this. If within the first 30 days you're going through this material and you decide that this is not for you, I have a no questions asked refund policy. There's my email address. Just email me, say, I don't want to do this. This is not right for me. I want my money back. No questions asked. You'll be taken care of immediately. But I do want to add one more thing. For those of you, for the first 10 people who purchase the program, and by the way, if you are thinking about voiceover at all as a career, this is a must-have program. The first 10 people, we're going to give you an additional month of DeWees membership. So instead of 1 month, we're going to give you 2 months, which is an additional $197 worth of value. I want to put you in this group of people and give you access to content, training that is going to empower you to get out there and make it happen and start happening now. And something else you need to know, your membership will not auto-renew. This is not one of those things like I remember when I was a kid and joined the RCA Record Club and I forgot to cancel and, my mom is asking me, and I was just a kid, months later, what are these bills that we're getting from RCA? How many 8-track tapes do you have? This is not one of those deals. You will not be automatically renewed. At the end of your trial membership, you'll be offered that one-time opportunity to renew at only $97 a month as long as you stay in the program. But you will have to actually do that yourself. We won't auto do that. So I don't want you to feel like you're being tricked into something that you'll regret later. That will not happen. Also, keep in mind, money replenishes, time does not. And you've got 2 options. You can do nothing. You can hope and pray for the best. You can play the lottery and hope that things work out for you. Second, you can take action. You can invest in yourself today. Follow me down the same proven path of success that other voiceover talent are experiencing. I've been able to cut a path through the weeds, so to speak. And my path when I cut it initially wasn't so straight because I had to figure it out. But now I've got a streamlined path that can save you a lot of time, a lot of money, a lot of energy, and a lot of resources and money along the way. So get started now. Just $47 every 2 weeks to have complete access to everything. If you have questions, feel free to email me, voiceoverexpert@gmail.com. But you can get started right now at BillDeWeesLive.com/go. And then I had to share one more. This is from one of my, I think I've said favorite people twice, but this is another one of my favorite people. And she lives out in Phoenix, and I've been working with her for a while, and she knows I'm a big Buckeyes fan, so she sent me, and she knows how to get to me. She knows she used to be a school teacher. She retired, became a principal, and then she became an administrator, and then she retired from that and became a senior golf instructor. And she knows I've got a weakness for golf in the Buckeyes, so she sends me Titleist golf balls and Ohio State Buckeye stickers. But just a note to say thank you for constantly making me a better voice talent, even when you don't know you're doing it. And Robin puts P.S. Go Bucks at the bottom. And again, I hope down the road, that's you. You don't have to send me golf balls. You don't have to send me Buckeye stickers. But I'd love to get a message from you saying, you know what? I did it. I put this information into practice, and it has paid off and paid off handsomely. So I'd love for you to join me. This offer is only good for 48 hours. That's the thing you've got to keep in mind. Saturday night, it is done. But you can order now at BillDeWeesLive.com/go.
Lisa's one of the first 10. I see some other people. Yes, Lisa, thank you very much. I'm sure there are other people who've signed up haven't said. If you did, thank you very much. Now, any questions that you have, be happy to answer, Bill. I'll feed them to Bill and just send them to me, and we'll answer any questions you have about the 3 steps, anything about the
And you've been a very
materials,
patient and attentive audience. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yes, you are. And Bill, so one of the questions that came up was, for the $47, when they pay it the first time, they get access to the entire stuff right away, right?
Right. Yeah, it's not dripped or released slowly. You have access to everything all at once.
Which could overwhelm the heck out of everyone. So what you would probably want to do is go into the membership area, ask some questions, make sure you do first things first, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. And again, we have the webinars every 2 weeks, so we can talk more about that. But yes, absolutely.
You'll love this comment. Jacob says, "I'm speechless. This is an amazing offer. Had to go for it." Love it. Thank you.
Good. That was my intent, to leave you speechless.
Yes, exactly. Let's see. It seems that $47 per week for 33 and 60 days is more expensive than $9.97 the longer. No, actually, I think we made it so that it came out a little bit less. Somehow.
Well, no, and they're right. It actually does come out more. Let's see. It comes out to over 1,000.
It's coming out a little bit more. But it's kind of like we wanted to find a way to get people on board without charging them a big fee up front. So it's kind of like doing your financing. Is that what we figured?
Yeah. Now, if you want to do a one-time payment at a lower, if $9.97 works for you, we can work that out too. Yeah.
So just email Bill at voiceoverexpert@gmail.com. But most people, yes. If you don't, Jacob, you're right. That is the total. There is a little bit of a kind of almost like a financing fee. So, but I'm signing up. Tom says, thank you very much. Jim, here's the deal. Jim is asking, can you do it for less than a year, 3 to 6 months? Hey, Jim, this is kind of, I guess, Bill, you'd call it kind of an honor system, which is that people, are paying for, you could theoretically, Bill is from the Midwest, so tell him tell him your philosophy.
We do everything on a handshake in the Midwest. No, but the way it would work is, let's say after 6 months you dropped out. You wouldn't owe me anything. In other words, we're not going to track you down for money. But at that point, you just wouldn't have access to the program anymore. It'd be that simple.
Yeah. After the first month, is there an additional price to stay with the DeWees membership? DeWees Club, I like Josh to call it. Hey, call it whatever you want, Josh. The reason why, tell them why, yes, there is, after the first 30 days, they have to pay an additional $97 per month. But if you get in there, tell them why that would be worth it.
Yeah, I'm going to go back to some of these slides because I think, hold on just a second. Here we go. Okay, so these are the benefits of being part of that. You've got, and this is really the highlight. It all revolves around our private Facebook group, And this is where we get on and have discussions, ask questions. You come across a situation, you need help, you can ask it. A member will jump on or I'll jump on to give you support. I interact with people on there. We do the biweekly webinars, which eventually we'll be also doing. I actually upload those after we do them live. I upload them to Facebook so you can see them later. You get discounts on any live events or other future programs, and there's little bonus trainings that I throw in there that nobody else has access to. But the real big thing, let me bring this up here, is that I'm streaming live every day.
If it were, yeah, exactly, is you get to sit next to Bill, have him be your Mr. Miyagi for 30 days learning what he does.
So it's everything from auditions to correspondence with clients to me editing my projects. You'll see me do that. You'll see me record my projects. You'll see me interact with the clients during live sessions, all that. You'll see everything. The only exception to that is occasionally I have projects that are under a non-disclosure. And those, I had one today, there was 5 or 10 minutes where I had to go dark. I couldn't do that because it's non-disclosure. But everything, that's the exception, not the rule.
Okay, now, a good question here on purchases from Mark, who says, hey, if he wants to do the $9.97 over 2 or 3 months, emails, and let me just put it in here. We want to put your email address in there, which is if somebody wants some kind of a special kind of deal, Bill will work it out. He's kind of flexible, I guess.
Yeah, just email me. We'll get you out some options tomorrow.
Yeah, voiceoverexpert@gmail.com. So that is for Mark and anybody else. So you can basically, if I heard somebody, their credit card doesn't work, don't worry. We'll figure it out for you. All you do, just voiceoverexpert@gmail.com, and Bill will take care of you. Leaf says, you're a good man, Bill. John says, I'm in.
Well, our main point, we just want to make it affordable. And, of course, I mean, we incur expenses for every payment that's made, too, because we have to work through the merchant account. So it's not, we're not trying to make more money off of it that way. We're just trying to.
Todd, I'm curious as to your question. Can we just get the program without the private Facebook group? You'd be paying the same amount, and you'd be foregoing one of the big benefits. So I don't know if you'd want that. You don't have to join or be involved in the Facebook group, but let me tell you, it's a big benefit.
It's just a bonus. I mean, I mean, you're paying for the program. That's the Facebook group, and the membership is a bonus.
Yeah. And by the way, access, tell people how they'll be added into the Facebook group. How will that work?
Yeah, what we'll do is you'll provide us with we'll take your email address, and we'll invite you to be in the group so that when you log into your Facebook account, then you'll see as one of your groups, and it's a private group, and you'll be able to go in and then begin to interact immediately. And if you don't use your Facebook-related email address to make the purchase, then you'll have a chance to give us that, so that we'll get you in the Facebook group one way or the other.
Question from Bill Mahoney. I'm actually working with another studio. I don't have a demo yet. Would this still work for me even though I don't have a demo?
Yeah, well, yes, and that really goes back to the DIY demo that we talked about, that you can record your own initial demo, especially for freelance websites, to begin making money so that you can finance a professionally produced demo down the road.
I love Bill's line. Bill is quite convincing. Listen to his audio clips every day.
Oh, great, thanks.
Bill is who he is. There's what you see is what you get, folks. I've hung out with him. Confused, Greg says, is a lifetime access after the first full year? Yes, lifetime access on the materials, but you would still have to pay the monthly fee on the DeWees members. That's that's almost like the bonus, like what Bill was saying.
Yeah, and keep in mind the regular price of that is $197 a month. But what we're offering you guys, if you want to continue past your trial period, is only $97 a month.
And, of course, Hamish from Australia says, we all love you down under, Bill, even if Trump doesn't love us.
We love you, too.
No, wait a second. Camille says, so to be clear, $9.97 divided by 12, $83 a month. Well, Camille, here's the deal. You can get, she's asking, how does this pricing exactly work? And let's be honest, it is just a little bit confusing, but let's figure it out. So $47 every 2 weeks gives people what, Bill? That's access to the training material, correct?
They'll give you access to the 60-plus hours of online streaming training material. And
with that, you get 2 weeks free, right?
You get a full month free is what we're offering here. Yeah, of DeWees membership. That's a bonus.
Members. And then she's confused about the $97 a month. Camille, that kicks in after the first month, and we won't bill you. You have to say yes to it. You want to continue with that, and if you find value, which, I mean, it's pretty cool, make sure you make use of it the first month to see.
And again, you will not be auto-renewed. Nobody's going to ask you for your credit card, and it's not one of those kind of things.
Jonathan is asking, is the blueprint recommended if I have the playbook? If you have something that Bill already has, I would just say email him, and we can make some kind of a price adjustment.
The playbook is under the umbrella. It's part of that. There's a lot more than that in there, but that you would find the access. You would have access to that as part of the blueprint.
Okay. Kate, good night. She says she has to run. Got it. Okay. Any other questions? You don't have to ask questions about payments. You can ask questions about the content, whatever you want. John, apparently we're confusing the heck out of it. $47 every 2 weeks.
You know what? Hold on a second.
Oh, no, John, that's great. So he goes, $47 every 2 weeks to make 6 figures a year, no brainer. John, if you follow the plan, we can't make any income promises, but there's a very strong chance that you're going to make money, good money. I don't want to say any specifics. Bill?
Yeah, can you see on the screen what I'm doing here?
Yes.
Okay. So maybe, I don't know if this will help or not. Every 2 weeks.
Okay, so Ripley
or up to 1 year.
A doing it. Yeah.
So you pay $47 every 2 weeks. You have access. The Blueprint program is over 60 hours of streaming video, VO training. We'll just leave it at that. Hope that makes sense.
Now, for someone like Ripley, you got a couple days. He wants a complete list of all the programs he's getting. Hey, you know what? We can provide that to you. Just email Bill. He'll get you back a list of all the programs. There's a ton of them. Is it about 12? I forget.
Yeah, about 12.
Yeah. So the answer is yes, Ripley. I'm not keen, Brian. I'm not keen on spending more money without making any. Completely understand. Do you have any lower paying jobs you don't accept that you can send my way so I can pay for your program? Brian, I don't think it would work that way, because when you're at Bill's level, you may get some different offers than you would. But believe me, there are people who've started from scratch with nothing and followed stuff. And again, Bill's numbers were real that he showed you there with the one guy who started on Fiverr, made 68, and by the fourth month was over 2,000. Now, again, your results may differ. John says, where can I get an outline to take to my business mentor to explain your offer? Okay, good question. We'll try and put something together, maybe a one sheet that describes all.
And what I'm going to do is, I've been recording this, and I'm going to put this up, and I'm going to send an email out to you all so you have access to this to go back and watch it again.
There you go. So, John, you can show it to your business.
It'll be up for the next 48 hours.
Mike, I've heard this before. He says, hey, Fred, too bad this wasn't available 3 years ago when I started this VO journey.
Yeah.
And by the way, Mike's was the email that I sent you that he so nicely put together how much he had spent to this point. Did you see that yet? You were busy all day.
Oh, no, I have not even gotten to that yet.
Mike sent me an email in which he detailed close to just under $6,000 what he'd spent on all the various stuff in his voiceover business.
Oh, man.
And I was like, do you mind sharing it? He was nice enough to do that. So when you get a chance, check the email from Mike McCormick.
Yeah,
Thanks.
I will. You know, Mike, and I wish this had been available when I first started, to be honest. I mean,
talk about that.
Yeah, I mean, you know, imagine 11 years ago. Obviously, I wasn't the first person to record voiceovers. There were people who had done this before me, but there wasn't nearly as much information and training and help available online as there is now. And I spent I tried everything imaginable. I beat my head against a lot of walls. And the things that stuck, I kept with it. But it was, I got pretty banged up along the way. But I'm pretty tenacious. I'm a laid-back kind of guy, but when it comes to business, I'll keep doing it. I'll do it till I figure it out. And that's what I did. If I was doing this today and had this information now, man, it'd shave probably at least half of the time off for me.
I think Lisa, who was one of our first buyers, is already in the site and says, I'm on the website now and I see beginner. Question, is VO Fast Track the same as VO Fast Track recordings? Yes.
Correct.
I think.
Yes.
Okay. You talked about starter mics, Leaf is saying. I'm considering the Rode NT2-A. What is your opinion of the starter mic for a beginner VO?
Yeah, well, okay. First of all, I'm not an engineer, so I cannot speak with great authority on every type of mic out there. I know that Rode makes a good mic. The NT1A is a really good large diaphragm condenser mic. I'm assuming the model you're talking about, I'm not specifically familiar with it. Perhaps it's either a USB mic or maybe a small shotgun mic, I'm guessing. My guess, if it's made by Rode, it's probably a good microphone. But again,
how about this is the question. How important is the mic to your success in VO? To give the example of your first 4 years in your walk-in closet surrounded by clothes with a $50 mic.
Yeah. Again, your audio needs to sound good, but it doesn't require an expensive microphone to do that. I literally had a $50, $60 mic, and I did national TV ads on that thing sitting in my bedroom closet. So, no, it doesn't. It's not as important as most people think it is.
Thanks, Ed. Must have. I appreciate it. Sorry, I have to run. Hey, Greg, thanks for being here. If anybody's got to run, I know we've gone kind of long. If you want to stay here, we'll take some more questions. Let me just, June is asking, where's a good source for finding background music that might go with my DIY demo scripts?
One of the better places that I know of is audioblocks.com. Let me put that up on the screen.
We'll put that in on the screen for you here. Okay, Russ is asking while you're doing that, with the package, is there a way to receive a little help from Bill via email? Let me explain to you how that works, Russ. When you go into his membership site on Facebook, you ask a question in there, and chances are, if Bill's in the middle of a session, there might be somebody else in the group that'll give you an answer. So a combination of other group members and Bill when you're in the membership site, you will get those answers.
Right.
Okay. Been watching your YouTube channel for months. I'm psyched. Finally get started in your training and new career. Perfect. James, I'm sorry, James, I missed this question. I saw this earlier. James is a public address announcer. I love that. I wanted to do that. And my voice tends to have a lot of boom.
Yeah.
How can I soften my voice? Or is there a website that specializes in infomercial voiceovers?
Well, yeah, there are. I mean, yes, there are, but that's not all there is out there, and you probably want to be versatile. And James, my first question for you is, do you speak with a booming PA voice in your day-to-day relationships? Answer to that is probably no, because it just wouldn't be appropriate. And so that's the key to voiceover, is understanding the context. Who am I talking to? Where am I at? If you don't boom every day when you're talking to the people at work or your spouse, or you don't have to do it behind a microphone either.
It's really funny. I could just see him in the house. Honey, where are the beats?
Exactly. Yeah, you that's not the way you function on a day-to-day basis. It's just learning how to do that behind a microphone. That's all.
Brian's got a question. So basically, he's convinced that the mic isn't the secret to success. He says, should I get rid of my Neumann TLM 103 and get the USB mic?
No, I mean, I still have a Neumann TLM 103. If you've got it, keep it.
How much could he sell that for on eBay?
No, probably what, $800-900, depending on the condition of it.
So he could pocket $700 to pay for the program, get an Apple mic for $199.
Well,
you may be better off. I'm not telling you what
there
to
you
do.
go. That's something to consider, I guess.
Josh, no problem. Can't sign until Friday. Not a big deal if you want to do it. I'm sure Bill will help you. Good day, Bill from Australia. I like it. How do I know if you're any good at this? How do you know
if I'm any good at it?
No, I'm sorry. Dean is asking. How do you know if you're any good at this VO thing?
Oh.
Do you need to be natural in a world, guy or gal, or is it something you can grow into over time? You know what? That's a really good question, Dean. Now, tell me what you always tell the people about how great your voice is.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm a pretty average guy. My voice is fine. It's okay, but it's, as you know, it's not that big booming powerhouse. The voiceovers I get hired to do are things where I'm talking like this. This is what I get hired to do, to talk like this all day, pretty much.
Being like a normal human
like
being.
Like a normal human being. The biggest challenge for people is not to become something they're not. It's to become what they are, but they're afraid to behind a microphone. That's the challenge of being a voice talent.
Yeah, I think a lot of questions about microphones. So basically, start with whatever you have and try and make that work, right? Let's not spend money on mics.
Yeah, earlier on especially, when you're getting set up with Fiverr. You can worry about that later when you made a few bucks.
Okay, I got signed up, got the email for the charge. When do we get access? Tom, we'll do it as soon as we find it. And I know you want in there really fast.
Well, you should get an email. Check your spam folder if you don't see it immediately.
No. Got the email. He wants access to the Facebook group now.
Oh, I see. Give us at least until tomorrow. We got to get back into the office.
The materials, though, Tom, you should be able to set up your account if you got a response from your payment right away. So if that's an issue, once you signed up, it should have given you a response that said, go to this place and set up your account. I think that's how it works, right, Bill?
Talking about the Facebook?
No. Talking about when he makes payment for this program, for the $47 every 2 weeks, he'll get an email that says to him, now you have to set up your account to get access to the material.
You have to. I think it'll send you an immediate, at least a temporary login and password. Then you go in and do that, and if you want to change it, you can do that.
If you have any questions, so again, email voiceoverexpert@gmail.com.
Unfortunately, we can't automate the Facebook process. We have to manually enter you in, and so that's why tomorrow we'll do that.
Yeah, Tom. So try and get into the materials based on the response you got and how to do that. But on the Facebook group, you'll get added manually. Unfortunately, Facebook doesn't allow us to do that automated. Great job, guys. Very inspirational. Love your YouTube channel, Bill. Signing off from Michigan.
Thank you very much.
Thanks. Let's see here. How soon have you seen? This is a good question. Brian is saying, how soon have you seen good results from marketing emails? Depends, right?
Well, yeah. Sometimes almost immediately. Sometimes never. Sometimes years. The reality is most never. But that's the thing about business. Any kind of prospecting is that most of the people that you reach out to, nothing will ever happen with them. I don't care what you're doing, voiceovers or anything else. They just won't. But that's okay. It doesn't matter. But there will be a small percentage who do reply. Some soon, Some down the road, some way down the road. Like I said, the one place it took 4 years. But so it again depends. It depends on how many people you reach out to, and some will do soon, some will do down the road, some will do later. I hope that helps you to kind of understand how that dynamic works.
Yeah, Jacob is asking. He says that when he signed up, he's got a Gmail account. The confirmation and login info popped in under the promos tab of his inbox. So yeah, you want to look in Gmail where it might be if you're doing Gmail. I have a Gmail account too. Okay, so Anthony's saying, I've been watching you on YouTube. I watched this webinar a couple months ago. The restructuring of this offer is great. See you on the inside. Thank you, Anthony. We'll see you
Thanks,
there.
Thanks,
Anthony. Josh, how do I know I'm marketable, voice-wise? If Bill's marketable, anybody's marketable.
I'm not. Okay. Well, you have to. Understand. And we talked about this during the webinar that you're going to work and develop that skill set, and meaning you're going to learn how to be you behind the microphone. And being you is what will be marketable, because I'm sure there are people that like you in your life. They like you because they like you. It'll be the same thing with voiceovers. There's nobody else like you. Not to be cliche, but we're like a snowflake. There's only one of us, and there are people who are going to like that.
Yeah, I think, and Josh, I think that makes total sense, because it's just actually most of the vocal training that you do over the years is showing people how to be themselves.
Yeah, it's not like it's not that it's not vocal training, me, my, mo. It's not that kind of thing. It's really psychological more than anything else.
Okay, Tina says, I got Vio's playbook. Actually got a gig today from using the cold emailing.
Oh, that's awesome.
Hey, Tina, and if you already own something and you want to kind of upgrade the whole thing, just send Bill an email on that. Okay. Okay, yeah, Brian, I was expecting to... Okay. If I'm able to sign up later in the week, will I be able to get the deal? Who should I email for the inquiry? Just send an email to voiceoverexpert@gmail.com. That'd be great. Lisa just said, who was the first one to order? I ordered a Katika eyeball. Oops, we just have your face. That's what you want, right?
No. Oh, no. You know what? Hold on a second. No, I'm switching back over to PowerPoint. I was trying to bring up the email again so people could see that.
Okay. Bill, have you taken any vocal training before or during your voiceover career? Absolutely. He got coaching.
Yeah, but it wasn't vocal training. It was voiceover training.
Now, and you've done that within the past couple of years from somebody who charged you a lot of money, as I recall.
Yeah, I've worked with a couple coaches out of Los Angeles. So I think everybody needs coaching. Everybody.
Yeah, everybody needs their own Mr. Miyagi. Bill can be yours, but he needs his own.
That's right.
Rich is saying, do you have any advice for someone who's balancing a full-time... This is a good question. Balancing a full-time job with launching a voiceover business with limited time, efficiency seems to be the key for me. Absolutely agree. So, Rich, let's assume he works the typical 9-to-5 job. How would you do this?
I like to talk about the power of 5 minutes. And in your case, maybe the power of 15 minutes. And it goes back, and again, if you look at these marketing materials that you'll see in the program, I'll talk about the specific daily strategies you should use. So what I would do, let's say I had 15 minutes maybe at work. I would set a goal so that, okay, every day I'm going to send X number of emails, maybe 15, maybe make 5 phone calls. But I'm just giving you an example. It doesn't have to be that. And I'm going to audition at least for 3 jobs a night on an online casting site. And then the main thing is that you do those things every day. Those are 3 really high leverage activities. So if you spend 15 minutes a day doing those, you're going to begin to get results. It's people that don't consistently do it every day that don't get results. It's not complicated. It's just consistency.
Yeah, I think that's true. So Rich, I think it really is possible. But again, it takes discipline. Lenny's asking, can you suggest a place to purchase good sound insulation for a recording room?
If you're talking about soundproofing, it's tough.
If you want to stay cheap, go to Walmart, right? Get the mattress top.
But that's not soundproofing. That's sound treatment. That's why it's sound proofing is a whole different ball game, and you might need a carpenter to build extra wall. I wouldn't do that. I would just find an interior closet or inside room someplace, and then treat it with mattress toppers, moving blankets, that kind of thing.
That was my incorrect reading of the question. It said purchase good sound insulation.
Oh, okay. Yeah, if you're wanting just to treat it so you don't get that big echoey sound, like Fred said, mattress toppers, or I would use moving blankets too. They're cheap and they work really well.
Yeah, and you can get them on Amazon super cheap. Just go to Amazon, put in moving blankets. They have deals on those all the time.
They're awesome for this.
Yeah. Oh, Lisa, by the way, I can answer a question. Is the Chaotica eyeball a good investment for sound treatment? Mine worked out pretty well. So, yeah. I think so.
I own one, too. I think they're great.
Yeah. Is there any way you could go back through the PowerPoints? I didn't realize you were going to. You know what, Christopher? What he'll do is post this whole thing recorded up and give you an email so you can go over it yourself.
Tomorrow I'll send you an email with a link to the video so you can watch it again.
Bill, I live in LA but haven't found a voiceover coach yet. Any suggestion? Yes. Go to DaveFenoyCoaching.com. He's one of my clients too. He's great, and he's in Glendale, California. So Dave Fenoy Coaching if you need an LA coach, but Bill is happy to coach you via Skype as well.
Yeah, I do everything. If you were my neighbor, we'd still do it over Skype, so it really doesn't matter where you live.
His home is his castle. You can come
that's right.
there.
Nobody comes here for coaching.
How much do you charge for demos? Now, demos at a professional level, Brian's asking, are very expensive. I'll warn you. Go ahead and give them your demo.
Yeah, what I charge to do a demo is $22.50. Which includes, that's a package. So there's training ahead of time. Of course, your scripts are chosen, coaching, and then that's all production, post-production, and then a follow-up marketing session afterwards. So there's a little bit involved in that.
This is why Bill is selling a $47 every 2-week package so you can make your money, so you can afford to get your demos because they are expensive.
And if you do a second demo, like a narration demo at the same time, then it's half price on the second demo. Okay,
Brian's asking, as I'm putting together my VO website and getting new demos made, what would be the top 5 or 6 demo categories you recommend we must have?
Well, I don't like to give categories because, again, it's all about you being you. But as a rule, here's something to think about. Do something that causes you, that forces you to speak in a really casual, relaxed tone, because clients have a hard time finding talent that can do that well. So I always like to include something that's really laid back. Something that's really almost like the Children's Hospital script that I read earlier. I would do something like that. I would do something that's very friendly, guy or girl next door. Maybe like for instance, a Boston Market type commercial. That would be good. You could do, if you did like a Chili's or an Applebee's commercial, that might be a little hipper, a little more excited. That would be good. You could do something that's more powerful, like an H.H. Gregg commercial or a car dealership commercial, where you're selling, doing a big sale. Those are a couple of the categories that I would be sure to include, though.
This is a good question from Todd. He's in the Chicago area. I'm currently represented by 2 agencies here in Chicago for the last 2 years. I've had a bit of success with jobs, but nothing substantial. I'm still supporting myself with other jobs while I try to get this off the ground. I'm almost certain you will say yes, but will this approach help me at all?
Yes. And let me explain something. My very first agent, and you may know, Lori Lenz, is my very, very first agent who signed me way back when. And of course, they represent out of Chicago and Milwaukee and Madison. That was, I don't know how many years ago. Guess how many jobs I've landed from them? 0. Never had. But what I'm going to teach you is what I do. I'm self-sufficient. I have agents and I get jobs through agents, but I don't need agents. They're icing on the cake.
The question is, what percentage of your work comes through agents? Less than 5%, correct?
Oh, yeah, less than 2%.
Less than 2%. So the answer is, yeah, use a marketing system that doesn't make you reliant on agents or agencies. Yeah. Okay. And by the way, questions about coaches in a specific geographic area. Funny. Chris says, any coaches in Texas? LOL. Like, it doesn't matter where the coach is located. It's got them via Skype. You're good.
Yeah, and I don't know offhand, but yeah, everything by Skype these days.
Okay, this is a good question too, Bill, and Bill will give you a very honest answer. When it comes to coaching, is it good to have one coach or different ones?
Well, I think it's good to get different coaches. You get different aspects. But here's the thing. Here's the main thing. I think different coaches are good, but make sure the coach that you're working with has been able to accomplish what it is you want to accomplish. Don't go to somebody because they're desperate to make money, because they can't get work anymore. And there's a lot of that going on. And but there's a lot of good coaches out there too at the same time. So just make sure that who you go to can do what you want to be able to do. That's the main thing.
Chris says, to follow up on that, do you know any coaches that provide coaching that's affordable? If they're good coaches, their rates will be, if they're less than 125, 150 an hour, they're probably not a very good coach.
Probably, because they should be. I mean, when you're doing a lot of voiceover work, your time's extremely valuable, as you'll find out when you become a successful voiceover talent. So it's not profitable, really, to do a lot of coaching that way.
As one of the last questions here, Josh asks, so living in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, isn't it going to hinder my ability to get work? No, we have people in like the bowels of Fairbanks, Alaska.
Oh yeah, where you live is irrelevant. If you have a computer and internet access, I could take my job today, my career, my business, I could move it to Timbuktu. Doesn't matter.
Okay, Jacob, this is a really good question also. We'll end with this one because we've kept Bill far beyond his normal
It's been
time.
a long day, but that's all right. This is good. This is good stuff.
So Jacob says, would you say that many of the high-dollar jobs are still limited to SAG-AFTRA work, or do production houses care less about union talent these days? So it's basically, can I make more money as a union or non-union guy? Are you union?
I'm not union, but I'm going to say this is a very broad generalization, because I have jobs where I make a lot of money, but as a rule of thumb, the SAG-AFTRA jobs, you're probably going to make more per job, but here's the problem, is getting those jobs. What you'll find when you talk to most SAG-AFTRA, ask a SAG-AFTRA actor how often they get jobs. Just ask them how often. I think the average union person makes $4,000 a year. That's not a living.
Let me give you I've seen a lot of people in this business, and I'll tell you what I see. I see that the people who are taking union jobs are getting larger dollar jobs, but getting them much less frequently, and are a little kind of concerned because there's a lot of, in between the feast, there's a lot of famine.
That's right. And more major advertisers are moving away from union and going non-union. I mean, I get hired. You saw my credits, and I'm non-union. So I work for Disney. I work for Sears. I work for Chevy, and I'm non-union.
Okay, so I promise I'd get Bill out of here. So the last thing, just to give people an idea, what's your coaching rate? What are you charging these days?
I charge $150 for a 30-minute coaching session.
Right. So for $47 every 2 weeks. Now, if I go in there and I need some help occasionally and I ask a question in the Facebook group, you're going to help me out?
Well, I go in as often as I can and check and try to respond. Sometimes the members get to it first, but also remember, worst case scenarios, we're doing Q&As every 2 weeks, so we'll have a chance to interact at least that frequently.
Yeah, and when you go to the Q&As every 2 weeks, there is plenty of time for questions. And sorry, Bill, we went really long. Hey, thanks everyone for being on the webinar. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, you. Hey, spread the word. Thank you, guys. See you next time.
Appreciate it.